With WWE hoping Bryan Danielson returns and a wrestling star injured, this is Wrestling Hub. My name is John and you're watching the Wrestling Report for November 1st. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at WrestlingHubOfficial and also follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. Speaking about the AEW World Title Eliminator Tournament, Jon Moxley mentioned his potential finals opponent Bryan Danielson, telling Wrestling Observer Radio, "It's probably my favorite match I've ever watched in my life. I'm super biased because it's my best friend and I love Bryan. I believe Bryan is the greatest wrestler that has ever lived. Tell me he's not. He's the man, and I love Eddie so much. I was hyped. When me and Eddie have big matches, we basically corner each other. The presence of Eddie makes me better. Sometimes gets a little hyped up, and he hypes me up too much when I'm trying to stay zen. I was like, I'm going to corner Eddie for this match. I didn't go out to the ring with him, but I'm there with him until he goes through the curtain. I'm watching him go through his process. His process is slightly different from mine, but he gets into his own zone, and it's a similar thing where it has to become real to him. There's a moment where he's sitting in the locker room. I'm so tired. I was done. I'm drinking a beer. I'm covered in blood and happy. I see Eddie sitting twirling his thumbs, and I know this song he likes, World War III by the Rough Riders. He keeps trying to push it on me. I didn't say anything. I just hit the song. It hits and I see his eyes switch. He starts pacing around the room and I'm like, this guy might go kill Bryan right now. This is so good. We walk to Gorilla. Bryan walks out. I grab Eddie by the shoulders and I said, look at this stupid Whole Foods shopping vegan MFer. Beat his ass. I could see it in Eddie's eyes. It was real. It was so good. Two amazing workers doing amazing work. It's probably my favorite match, maybe of all time. Now Moxley looks to defeat Orange Cassidy on Dynamite for Wednesday to advance to the finals. Sticking with Moxley, he also said in that same interview that he tried everything to get out of the casino ladder match that took place last month. I swear to God that I would never do a ladder match again for the rest of my life. I hate ladder matches. I'm not good at ladder matches. They're not my thing. I hate them. I feel like ladders have taken more years off my career. They mess you up. Fans don't even truly see all the bumps on the ladder. I don't think they truly appreciate how much it messes people up. Elbow chips, messing your back up. I don't mess with ladders anymore. My thing was like, I don't do ladders, I do other stuff. Ladder's not my thing. I was like, I ain't doing another ladder match again. I'm not what you call a high flyer. There's no reason for me to climb a ladder, and what am I doing? Falling off the thing? For what reason? I was over ladder matches. I swore I would never do ladder matches again. Until Tony books this ladder match. We're talking, he's like, I need some star power in this match. For reasons, you need to be in this. I tried every excuse. Ultimately, he's the boss. He's paying me. I'll do my best. I'm on the team. Known as Piper Niven on NXT UK, Doudrop is on the main roster as she told Give Me Sport that she thought her name change was temporary. At first when they say, oh, do you know what your new name is going to be? I was like, what new name? Loads of people didn't want to tell me and I can't remember who it was that it finally ended up telling me. But they were like, your name is going to be Doudrop. And I was kind of like, okay, sure. But honestly, like, I get it. I'm not playing Piper anymore. Don't get me wrong. There are totally parts of my personality from her that bleed into Doudrop and stuff. I kind of like it because it was like taking a negative and turning it into a positive, and I feel like that's very on brand for me, you know? People in the past in my career have always kind of maybe made jokes about my size and said you can't do this, you can't do that, but really I'm here now succeeding because of those negatives, so I kind of like that I've turned it around and made a cute little thing. So my belief was that it was a temporary thing and I was like, okay, right now, cool, I can get behind this. Following her loss in the Queen's Crown Finals to Zelina Vega, it remains to be seen what is next for Doudrop. With him defeating Bobby Lashley in dominant fashion at Crown Jewel, Goldberg could have punched his ticket for another high-profile match down the line. On After the Bell, Corey Graves touched on this bout, saying this was by far Goldberg's best performance in WWE. I'm not sure if this is the popular opinion, but this is my opinion. Lashley versus Goldberg may have been the best Goldberg match I have ever seen. Both raised their own values. Goldberg is a Hall of Famer. Goldberg has done everything there is to do. One of the biggest stars this industry has ever known. Goldberg would not be out of line and going, hey, I've done everything that I can do, I'm ready to call it a career. But the fact that Goldberg stepped up at this stage in his career, and again, I'm sure there are matches that are more personally special to him throughout his career. Most of Goldberg's matches are short and impactful. You want to see the spear, you want to see the jackhammer, you want to see him freak out and bring the intensity. This is a longer match than we are used to seeing from Goldberg, and for my money, and at least pertaining to his WWE run, best Goldberg match that I have ever seen. With Goldberg saying he has one more match left on his current WWE deal, it seems more than likely that the WCW legend will collide with the WWE champion Big E. Talking about debuting as the special enforcer for Sting's Bound for Glory 2006 match against Jeff Jarrett, Kurt Angle took to his podcast who had the rumors of Sting not knowing that he would be added to the match until he arrived. Sting did his own thing. He had no interest to be bothered when he was at home. I believe that he always found out what he was doing when he got to the building. So it doesn't surprise me that Sting didn't know that I was going to be a part of that pay-per-view match. But you know, that is just how Sting is. Sting is not political by any means. He is not going to push for himself to be the champion. He is a good guy, and he is very fair about wanting to be a part of the company. He is not asking to be the guy in the company, as he just wants to contribute. That is what I love about Sting. No politicalness there. He has a great attitude, and he always did. I've never been told that Sting did anything political or tried to push himself above anybody else. I was always told that he kept his mouth shut and did what he was told, and that is what I love about Sting. Following his AEW debut, Sting finds himself a part of Darby Allin's feud with MJF. With Mandy Rose going back to NXT, she made her presence felt in a big way as she is the women's champion and her stablemates are tag champions. On the bump, Rose talked about her experience, admitting that developing on NXT can be stressful. I think when you're developing and when you're on NXT, sometimes it could be a little overwhelming and it can be stressful because you have a lot of cooks in the kitchen. You're trying to develop your character and who you are, and it's really stressful, and that's what I've noticed since I've been down there, is trying to help the girls and just really be in the moment and enjoy the moment. Also, you know, be who you want to be, because there's a lot of people out there that think they know who you are, but you know who you are most, and you know the best. On a previous episode of Raw, commentator Corey Graves took some major shots at Dana Brooke, saying she had not really achieved anything in WWE, which caused Brooke to respond online. Graves touched on this incident while speaking on Out of Character. 99.9% of the time, everybody realizes that it's just me doing what I do. I love walking the line and being provocative. I also make sure, and I try to take great care, that I don't ever harm anybody from a character perspective. I always want to make people better. For instance, the Dana Brooke issue. I actually sent her a text message the next morning saying, hey, no hard feelings. It wasn't personal. Full disclosure, I don't know what's going to happen on these shows. I am reacting. That's my choice. There have been times where I sat in production meetings and I have ideas, but I prefer to not know what's happening because I like to think my reactions are more genuine. I get to use my wit a little bit better. Graves would go into detail on his commentary style, which harkens back to the likes of Bobby Heenan. I do it in a very unique way because it's unique to my perspective as a bad guy, but I'm trying to achieve sympathy for the devil from a viewer's perspective, like, here's why this person did this underhand thing. It's no unique because a lot of people think in 2021 that the full-blown heel commentators are passé. I think to an extent it is. Could you imagine Bobby Heenan? He wouldn't exist in 2021. He would be fired, canceled, tarred, and feathered publicly because that's the way the world has changed. I try to be a little more villainous, mean than full-blown bad guy, justifying and only rooting for the bad guys, and the good guys are wrong. I try to adapt, but I grew up on Heenan and Jesse Ventura. Deep inside me, that's who I'm a fan of, so when it comes time to do what I'm doing, I just fall back on what I was a fan of. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. While he was originally set to appear at Impact Wrestling's Bound for Glory pay-per-view, former NXT North American champion Bronson Reed told Wrestling Inc. Daily why this did not pan out. "It's a complete nightmare. That's how it works, but no issues. Everything's pretty much set in stone now. I have a great set of lawyers actually helping me out. As of next week, things should be set in stone for me to be able to work places. I'm not going to say anything, but I think November you'll get to see Jonah around some places. Right now, Jonah Rock is unable to wrestle, as he noted. At the moment, it's everything to do with immigration, so I'm not able legally to do anything wrestling-wise until all immigration is sorted, but it should be sorted very soon, and I'm very happy about that." After choosing to not re-sign with WWE, Bryan Danielson finds himself in AEW showcasing his ability in fantastic matches. When it came to his contract status, Fightful reported that WWE sources tell us they were well aware that his deal was coming up soon when that was booked, and spoke highly of Bryan Danielson's professionalism in working with Roman Reigns and making their match as good as possible on the way out. One source said that Bryan handled things so well that a lot of people didn't think he was actually leaving or taking any time off. We couldn't have asked for more. With Ring of Honor cutting their entire roster to rebrand and relaunch, Danhausen has become one of the hottest free agents in wrestling. Recently, at an NGW event in Knoxville for Halloween night, he suffered an injury, as it was noted on Twitter that he has a broken tibia and fibia. Hopefully he is able to recover quickly, as he should have bigger opportunities to come. After signing with Major League Wrestling, former WWE star Enzo went on Twitter to touch on the reason he was blackballed from the wrestling industry. As he said, "I've been blackballed by pro wrestling for being the best. People are petrified of what I might say or do. Heart of a champion, heart of gold, mind gone platinum, silver tongue SOB. You can't blackball brass balls." With him looking to make a comeback, he also pointed out that he will be in Philadelphia on Saturday for the promotion. A couple days ago, former WWE correspondent Renee Paquette tweeted that her private Instagram account had been hacked. With her not able to get back on, she told the hacker, "Good job stealing pictures of her baby." And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.